the brother Mark.
Marcus?
Hey, what's going on,
Yeah,
family?
yeah, bruh.
All right. We'll make sure I get
Back
some
in the
things
building, Urban Matters Matter Live Chat. I'm your gracious host. We're here in the Urban Matters Black Media Group studios. And we got the professor in the building. Roll call. And we got my brother, Mark E. Mark E, the assassin. The African assassin.
I hear you, my brother.
Thanks for joining us today, man. We greatly appreciate your presence, man. We greatly appreciate your presence, man. So, hey, man, thanks y'all for joining us again, man, on this gracious day of July the 9th, 2024. It's my cousin's birthday, man. I've been trying to hit him up all day, man. Cousin,
Happy birthday, Cuzzo.
hit me up, man. That's my cousin Wolf, man. Y'all know him. Wolf, they call him the Wolf Man. Yeah, man.
Hey, see if you're running live on your page, Dr. Juice. I don't see you live on your Facebook page.
We should be live.
I just want you to double check and see.
Make sure.
Is it on?
Well, I want
Is
to
it
pull
on the
up.
other page?
No, it's on Juice Johnson. It's always on Juice Johnson page.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me check that out right quick, y'all. We got to get all the vitals going, family. We got to get it going. Let's see, we got to get it going. Let me see what we got here. Okay. Come on, family. Next, let's see. Okay, let's make sure we got it.
Because I like to share it. I can't share it.
Yes, sir. Let me see if we got it going. Refresh it right now. Let's see if we got it going. Let's see. Make sure we got it. Hold on. Let me get it going, boy, because we need that. We need
Yes,
that.
sir.
I'm going to reload it one more time, guys. If it pop you off, then I'm going to pop y'all right back in.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
How you been, Brother Mark?
I've been good, my brother. How about yourself?
Been better than some, worse than others, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's make sure we got all the vitals going. Hey, got my moderator, Professor.
Yeah, that's it.
Professor G. We live?
Yes, sir.
All right.
See if we can get some commentary.
Okay, yeah, man. Let's get that commentary going for sure.
Right. Yeah.
Let's get it going again. Let's run it back through then. Hey. Run it back through.
Hey, Breezy, cut that shit up.
Yeah. We bite. We had some technical difficulties. They be out, trying to censor us and everything, but we're back in the building again.
Hey, Breezy, cut that shit
Got the
up.
crew in the building. We got Professor G. We got Mark E. My guy. And we finna chop up some heavy game tonight, y'all. We finna chop up some heavy game tonight. Y'all might as well get ready. 1, 2, 3, ready, go. We on go. It's go time. We in the building. Hold up now. Let's see what our topic gonna be about today. Let's see. Okay, what benefits do Black Americans get? And I'm gonna have to rephrase that. Foundational Black Americans get. Let me hold up. Let me rephrase that because we got to make sure we make that clear. Because sometimes they be trying to, remix our nationality and our identity. But we're not going for that. There we go. Now let's try that. Yes, sir. There it is. What benefits do foundational Black Americans get when voting for the Democrats? And let's see. We got in the heading. We're talking about economic empowerment tonight. And that is the main thing on our political menu for 2024. Would you guys agree with me on that?
I would agree.
Absolutely.
All right. Now we're going to let our new guest, introduce himself, Professor Marky Mark. Let's do it.
I,
Chop it up, man. Let the family know who you are, and let them know what your agenda is, and let them know what your mission is.
I am Mark Evans. I am from Lake Wales, born and raised, been in and out.
Lake
I'm a
Wellian.
FAMUan. Um, I've been to Warner Southern. I've been to University of Houston. I've been to Auburn University, and been around the world. And I'm back in Lake Wales. I love my city, love my people. And every place I've been in some type of black organization trying to help my people, be it in Houston, Dallas, Montgomery. Um, I've been doing that, and that's what I believe in. And I come back home, and even before I got home, that's when you and I connected, Dr. Juice,
Yes, sir.
and
Yes, sir.
and we've chopped it up for many a times for many a years. And my main thing is I just want us to snap out of it. I want us to snap into self. And when I say self, I don't mean individual self. I mean being black for black. You know, you had a wonderful topic when you spoke about relatives and family leaving each other because of the status quo. Be it, you know, when they had the COVID thing going on.
Yep.
You know,
A lot
we
caused a
had
lot of
mothers,
division. Mm-hmm.
yes, division in family. And I mean, it could be a mother in a house and her family wouldn't even come because they were scared they were going to get COVID.
Mm.
And I don't understand it. But it's many of things, but the main thing is I'm black first.
Right.
I love all people. I think there's good and bad in everybody. So it is not a thing of who you hate. It's about who I love. Because
Absolutely.
when me and my people wake up, one thing, whether we Democrat or Republican, nobody will know that unless we open our mouth. But they can
Absolutely.
look at us and know we black. So I think
Absolutely.
we got to start create. My main agenda is to get that black pride again. I remember growing up in Lake Wales, brothers calling each other, saying "Hello, brother," and "How you doing?" And we would fight for each other. I remember growing up, going
Absolutely.
to a car lot. I would go to a car lot and never been to the car lot before. It can be 10 salesmen come up to me that's other races. And I see that one black salesman over there and I say, no, that gentleman over there is the guy that I spoke with. Never spoke with him before. I remember walking in restaurants. We always would scan the room and see who looked like us, and we make eye contact with them and we nod our head like,
Remember
I
that?
got you, brother.
Right.
So
Remember those
now,
days.
now, now I'm in a place where I can be walking in a grocery store or walking anywhere, and I can have a brother or a sister will look at their phone instead of looking at me and speaking to me.
Hmm.
And and I don't like that. And I want us to get back to the thing where we believe in each other, where I know you got my back when I can't do it. When I know I need something, I can call on my brother and he got me. Because you remember when I know you guys know this way. Remember when we couldn't go in the hotels and motels on the highway. So that's why your mama and your grandma, everybody knew where everybody was, and you can just pull up to their house and you can sleep there for the night when you was traveling.
Absolutely.
Though that's the kind of community I want to. That's my community I want to rebuild in Black America. So that's my agenda.
Absolutely. And also, Mark, I heard you were a black business owner as well. Pretty successful guy in business ownership, right?
Yes,
And
sir.
you're also an
I
advocate of land ownership with Black Americans, Foundation of Black Americans. and I know you had a group you had wanted to start with a couple of the guys, and we didn't have a lot of feedback on it about going into multi ownership of land parcels, right?
Correct. And just to touch on that, when I first brought it up, I think we had you can correct me if I'm wrong. It was at least 100. It was at least 100 acres, and we could get it for under $200,000. And and it's amazing how a group we can come together to give millions to a party that won't do anything for us. But
Oh man, that's great, man.
when I was attempting for us to buy that 100+ acres, we didn't get enough feedback and didn't get enough help to get it.
Mhm.
And now each one of those acres is selling for $30,000 each. So that's the type of stuff that we have to be on top of. We have to understand markets, and we got to trust each other. See, when we come in together and start trusting each other again, see, if we would have made that deal, then we would be sitting in a very nice position right now as a organization. So
Absolutely.
those are the things, they keep coming up. We just have to keep our hand on our finger on the pulse of what's going on. But yes, sir, that's stuff that I've been in. I've had my
Okay.
own business now for at least, let's see, it's been about 32 years. So
Wow. That's big.
learn,
That's big.
yes, sir.
That's
I
big. And you know why I say that's big? Because, like I say, that's what the topic is today. We're trying to talk about economic empowerment and how important that is, that we try to shoehorn that into this 2024 election. And let's start putting some real agendas and some real discussions on the table instead of just giving our freaking votes away every freaking 4 years, man. And then talk noise about how hard things are and why things are so bad. Professor, you want to chime in on that? On the back end of that, and we're gonna, brother Mark, we're gonna follow up with you about that investment club, because I think
Okay.
that's a really great idea. And I know me and you've been kind of chopping that up for a minute, man. But we just need to get some traction on that, and we need to get some more leverage on it. And I think this platform would be a great opportunity to make sure we can get the word out on that. So make sure you
Okay.
follow up with me on that, brother Mark.
Yes, sir.
Professor,
Yes, sir.
chime in. Now, I want you to give me the real, because I got a clip I'm gonna get ready to play, and I want you to kind of introduce us into that, and I'm gonna let it run after you chop it up.
Yes, sir. Well, let me just come straight out of the gate. Y'all know me. I'm the professor straight up from across the highway, 3Ds, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia to A. Let me just come right out of the gate and bring something to your attention. Right? I had an individual in many black people make the statement that black people they died to vote. So help me figure this out, Dr. Juice and Brother Evan.
Yes, sir.
Black people, first of all, was barred from voting Democrat in the 20s. Emancipation Proclamation was in 1865. That was supposed to be when slavery ended or evolved into another form of slavery. But the point is, then if black people was barred from voting Democrat in the 20s, what were they doing between 1865 and 1920? I'll give you the answer to that, but I'll let you think about it. So between 1865 and 1920, they were dying to be free. They were dying for economic equity because they were barred from voting that whole time. So when you hear this notion that black people was dying for the right to vote, that's not quite accurate. So I'll leave it right there.
Right. righty. Exactly. And I have to correct a lot of people on that too, man. They always making that that's a misnomer that our folks died to vote. No, they didn't. They died for economic freedom and they died for social freedom. And it looks like we're still fighting that same fight today because we still have not yet received or demanded or received economic freedom. And we definitely are still shackled by our brains. We're still in shackles. Our brains and our minds are shackled. I don't care what nobody say. We might have allegedly physically were free, but mentally we were not freed from slavery. So we're still economic slaves. I remember me and you said something. We was talking about being an economic slave. Break that down a little bit for me, Professor. What is an economic slave?
So, an economic slave is a group of people or individuals that solely purchase. They don't produce anything. They don't make nothing. All they do is buy. They're not entrepreneurs, nor are they investors. They're strictly spenders.
Gotcha. Thanks for that. Yeah,
And
thanks for that clarity. You pretty much cleared
and
it up.
to
Go ahead, Brother
add
Mark.
and to add on to that, a good example of that is when you have a group of people who depends solely on a job. You know, after civil rights, that's how they began to break up our families because they used the job. They started giving us good government jobs. They started giving us the opportunity. Then they gave us what? Government jobs, and they gave us integration. And they got rid of our jobs that we were producing for ourselves. And
Yes.
now we're going to get these jobs. Now, did you notice with jobs what has happened? See, they sucked us in with the retirement and all these wonderful benefits, the gold watch, the pensions and all that stuff. Now what's happening? That's slowly being cut. All of those benefits of having a job is slowly being cut, and the hours of you working on that job has been increased. Now people starting to work 12-hour shifts.
Wow.
And you remember the days of
And
two
they pushed the
15-minute
retirement age
breaks?
back. They pushed the retirement
Yes.
age back too.
Yes. So they're slowly working our grandkids and great grandkids back in the full blown 100% slavery.
Sweat equity.
And I always tell people, I always say, where you going? You going out on the plantation today? Because that's all the job is a plantation.
Modernized
Whether
slavery.
it's Xerox or whomever. Only difference is they giving you enough money to go out and purchase a home, not on the plantation.
Absolutely.
And they pay you just enough to have a couple of days off and go back to the plantation and make enough to get through the next week.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that is so true. They definitely make sure that they just pay you just enough. I mean, think about it. If you're not really getting your value in labor, then you pretty much still are a slave. I mean, it's just I remember back when I first started, you had a little bit of retirement, you had benefits, you had a little medical, you had a little dental insurance, you had perks to a job. Now they're lying about the job numbers. I'm gonna play a video for y'all later on and show you that the job numbers are not why the fluctuations in the stock market are happening. And they're not being honest with you about a lot of these job layoffs that's been happening the last 4 years. Industries and corporations have constantly been laying people off. So it doesn't matter if you hire 100,000 that month, but last month you laid 300,000 off. You see what I'm saying? You're still in a deficit of job numbers, and they're in the Biden administration. They have been lying to folks, telling everybody that the economy is in perfect shape when that's just not the
Legalize.
case.
Big Lots is closing a lot of
What?
stores
Big Lots?
in Big Lots. You're gonna start noticing a lot of them shutting down in the month of October.
I know Dollar Store, Family Dollar, or Dollar General, they've revamped their thing. Somebody else,
But
like some other company, has bought into Dollar General because Dollar General was about to collapse flat. And I
really,
was talking to Professor Vaught the other night. A young white lady was in the line, and I was behind her.
hmm
And the reason why I paid so much attention to it, because the guy was trying to, put some more change into the register, and he was taking his time. And the young lady had her items she was going to get ready to purchase on the counter. And I asked Professor Voss, what is this famous dish that we used to enjoy as young folks?
yeah,
She had it
yeah.
on the counter, and here's the ingredients: bread, butter, and bologna. What does that make?
Oh, nice hot bologna sandwich.
Fried bologna sandwich, boy. Woo, woo, woo.
Don't forget to cut it. Don't forget to cut it.
Oh, you gotta cut it. Hey, I used to double mine up. I used to make a double bologna sandwich. Y'all don't know nothing about that.
Right,
We get that double
right.
bologna sandwich, boy, fried
Woo.
right there. You know that get that bubble in the middle. When that bubble hit it,
Yep,
flip it over real quick. You gotta flip it
yep.
quick now, because if you don't flip it quick, you'll rip it.
That's
You'll
right.
rip it in the middle, you'll lose your bubble.
Oh,
Well,
but
listen,
yeah,
that used to be well. Right now, my daughter and them are still hooked on bologna. She was like, "Oh my god, I ain't realize fried bologna taste is good." And she being there cooking up a whole pack of bologna, boy, like it's Mr. Crab or something. You know how them women like to go to Mr. Crab and spend all that
right.
money at the Mr. Crab place. They be in there
hmm
frying up bologna, boy, like they in the Mr. Crab restaurant, boy. But oh man, that's
Yeah.
what's up. Hey, let me play
So
this real quick video for you guys. I came across this today. Y'all guys tell me what y'all think about this right here, man. This is hilarious, man. This lady is burning herself with so many bridges with all of her lies and all of her flim flam. This is hilarious, man. You got to listen to this.
After much self-reflection, I have come to the realization that there is one thing very Indian about you, and that is that you became the Democratic nominee without a single vote. Bitch, you pulled the biggest scam of all time. No Indian I know, from the call centers to email phishing, no Indian I know has scammed 250 million people. Not bad, Kamala. That's pretty good numbers. If you manage to actually win the election, you will have pulled off the biggest Indian scam of all time. From here on out, your new name is not Camel Toe actually. It is now Scamala. Scamala Harris.
I had to play that, man. I came across that today, man. That is hilarious. Y'all heard that, man? That's hilarious, bro. I don't care what y'all say now. That was funny. That was funny. Hold on, let me get this back out of here. Oh, that was hilarious, bro. It was hilarious. Let me see if I can share it though. Okay, here we go. All right, we back. I had to play that, man. That was hilarious. But did you see what the topic? I mean, the heading was. He said even she got Indians don't want to vote for her no more because now since she's so black, she done alienated herself with the Indians. Oh man, this gonna be. I'm gonna get all of this footage, man. This gonna be a hell of an election. I'm gonna sit back and just laugh, man. Like I say, bro, y'all know how I rock. Bruh, I have not voted for the Democrats in about, what, 12 years at least. 12 years.
well,
So,
I
hey,
must say, I voted for Obama twice. The first time, of course, because of the apparition that he was, and I fell for it. And the second time, I thought that he would finally do something for us,
no,
and
sir.
nothing happened. But the gays, Hispanics, and everybody else got something but us.
But
And that was so disappointing. Even when they was killing us on wholesale, he say, I'm gonna write a law for the police, and we'll give y'all, and then also we'll give y'all body cams. You know, man,
wow,
that was disappointing. But you know,
that guy was a real
uh,
big disappointment. So like
he
I
really
say,
was.
tonight, fellas, we're gonna be discussing economic empowerment, and we want to know what benefits do we get for foundational Black Americans being loyal to the Democrats another election cycle. Like, are we gonna do it? Or I mean, I've been hearing the blight of the black men, man, foundational black men. Like really, like we just pretty much, you know, got to the end of our ropes. And brother Mark, I know you say you like a lot of Trump's policies, and that a lot of Trump's policies align with what black men and black women need to catapult us to the next economic level in this country, man. Because I think we are the forgotten group, we are the neglected group, and you know, like I stay on that topic about benign neglect, and they use all these trigger words like black and brown people, minorities,
Minority.
people of color, and especially when you say black, anybody can piggyback those terms. Anybody can hijack those terms, family. Anybody could literally like remix that term, but they can't remix the term foundational Black American. They cannot remix that term, family. So, brother Mark, you want to kind of cue us
But
in on that a little bit about the whole thing about watching
benign,
the trick words that they like to use.
yes. The benign neglect, man. When you spoke about that, I was like, boy, me and Dr. Juice are like here because
We always vibrating on the same frequency.
yes,
Yeah.
because I was like, you know, one thing that I like about Trump is, see, we've been suffering from benign neglect since Jimmy Carter administration. That's when they started that. That's when they started that program. But they started saying stuff like minority and all those catchphrases. But when Trump was attempting to write stuff for us, he said black people, black community in the bills, in the laws. So you can't get it to a white woman. You can't give that to a midget. You can't give that to other people. It's only for black people, foundational black people. Now, the only way we can give it to others would be if we allow black to be tainted like we do with Kamala, I'm sorry. Like we do with Calamity Harris, you know, and different people like that. But I'm sorry. Benign neglect, so like minority. So we get laws and whatnot going for us. So we think. But the majority of the people getting it don't look like us. You know, so when you say minority, that's a large swath that we're covering with that term minority.
Right.
And Professor Voss knows better than anybody how large a group that is, because he's a numbers man and he pay attention to that type stuff. So we have to narrow it down where we can sharpen the pencil a little bit and just cover us, just like with the Asian hate, the group that Kamala identified with. They got it for Asians and not for everybody else. So benign neglect. So that's like basically giving you the okie doke. It's saying we're gonna do this, but we're not gonna do this. What's the official definition there? Instead of All right, so,
Benign neglect. Let's scroll it down.
okay.
Benign neglect. Okay, let's see here. We'll roll that one. Okay. Benign neglect is an attitude or a policy of ignoring an often delicate or undesirable situation that one is held to be responsible for dealing with.
Right. So that's a beautiful way of saying, because us foundational Black Americans, we've been a problem since they came on our shores.
Yep.
And during civil rights movement, when we started making a little too much noise, especially when they started grouping us in the neighborhoods and redlining us in the neighborhoods, and we could come together in large groups without, all over the country, they realized that was a problem. So they started breaking that up, and now they make sure they disperse us throughout many neighborhoods. So and then they also closed down our community center. You know how, like in Lake Wales, we used to have James P. Austin, the community center. We used to gather in large crowds there. What did they do? They gave us the B Street Center.
Yep.
That's a little smaller crowd there.
Exactly.
And now it's not quite as easy to get over there in that James P. Austin. Matter of fact, that done changed now, right? To the Girls Boys Club or something.
Yep.
So they take the large groupings of they take our ability to form large groups and come together. They take it away. And America is great at making you make the decision to do negative things for yourself. If that makes sense. So they convince you that a bad decision is right.
Yep.
They convince you that a woman should lead the household, when God say that's not the way it should be. So they convince us to live backwards, and then we get a backwards result, and then we wonder why we got a backwards result.
Correct. Yep. So, Professor, I'm gonna get you right after I play this video. I want you to answer the question, Professor. How do we get the Democrats or get any type of politicians to engage in a conversation about Black wealth and economics? All right? Keep that question right there while I play this. This my favorite right here, Dr. Claude on benign.
I love it.
All the schemes, techniques, tricks, laws, public edicts, everything that the dominant white society did to socially engineer you into the lowest level of a real-life monopoly game. You've been sold into it. You have no substantive leadership. The leadership you got right now is totally committed to what they set up under the benign neglect policy, which means let's fabricate all these other groups to take away the benefits that Black folks should be getting. Let's give it to them. We'll fabricate new groups and call them fabricated classes. We'll now come up with things called minorities, poor folk, people of color, diversity, multicultural, and gays. Those are fabricated classes. Now, I wrote the first affirmative action plan in 1970 for the state of Florida. When I was over education for the state, I did not write it for minorities. I didn't write it for gays and humpbacks and lesbians and midgets. I wrote it for Black folk. So in the history of this nation, they have given up over 1 billion acres of land to whites. Free. And that not only did they get the free land, but the free land and double and triple in value every 20 years. That's why they got all the wealth. And on that land, all the gold, silver, chrome, bauxite, magnesium, and timber increased in value.
Timber, there you go.
And out of that 1 billion acres of
It's
land.
all wood.
And by the same token, they denied giving
Yes.
Black folk 40 acres. Forget civil rights. Go back and correct the conditions that you impose on Black folk. You cannot deprive a group of people for 500 years of the fruits of their labor for no money, no value, no land, no history, nothing. And they say, go out and compete. Compete with what? And so I tell all my civil rights leaders, you are foolish with the things you keep pushing. Why do you keep telling Black folk to go out and fight for equality and equal opportunity? I don't give a damn about no equality and equal opportunity. And here we are, and we buy the garbage every time because we don't understand the issues. Now, so for us, unemployment is the same as it was back during slavery. Why? And when I looked at the records, I found out back in those days that in major cities like Washington, D.C., Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, New York, and Atlanta, Georgia, and Savannah, that even though you only had 200-some thousand black folk that were free, all the others, almost 6 million, were enslaved. But yet, what was the unemployment rate? They had full employment as slaves. But out of the 200,000 that were free, guess what? The employment rate for them was still what it is now, almost 35 to 40%. Just sleeping in alleys, sleeping in attics, sleeping on the corners, begging for food, walking, trying to do handyman jobs. The same thing with imprisonment at that time, that even though you only had 200-some thousand black folk free out across the country, I looked at the incarceration rate, imprisonment rate. But out of 200-some thousand black folk made up over 51% of all the prisoners. You're the only people that came to this country that were enslaved. Nobody else came here and enslaved but you. You're the only people that were denied the right to vote. You're the only people that were classified as 3/5 of a human being. You're the only people that were classified as special property. You're the only people that the entire Constitution was framed on. You're the only people that an entire civil war was fought over you. And more importantly, you are the only and the most patriotic people in America. Nobody in this country, I hear all the people on these Rush Limbaugh types and the Hannitys and the O'Reillys always talking about black folk for this and black folk for that, about patriotism. Nobody in this country is more patriotic than you are. You tell them this, that Dr. Anderson told you this. You are the only people in this country, no Asian, no Arab, no Hispanic, no American Indians, anyone else. You're the only people that have fought in every war this country's ever been in.
There it is. Whoop, there it is. You heard it here at Urban Matters Black Media Group. You heard it. What y'all think about that, Professor? Now, Professor, how do we get these politicians to engage us in a serious, strategic conversation and an agenda that will bring forth black wealth and economics?
Well, the short answer is don't give them the very thing. The short answer is don't give them the very thing that they want, and that's your vote, because that's the only thing they engage with. But I want to talk about your favorite people, Dr. Juice.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Boule Negroes.
Uh-oh.
I want to talk about your favorite people.
Oh man, you're gonna get us in some good trouble.
Well, and I'm not. And let me just disclose that and every time you want to hold your own accountable, we always have this simple-minded response that he bashing, he putting us down, that whole emotional sickness. But let me talk about them people for a minute. Right?
Put on your seatbelt, bro, Mark.
It's on. I done sat back. Class has begun.
So first of all, we don't have any leaders anymore. And the reason why we don't have any leaders is because people are afraid to die. I get that. These people at these HBCUs, these Boule, Magnificent Nine type, this what I call this
the Divine Nine, yeah.
Divine Nine, and keep in mind, as sad as it is, I don't really have an appreciation for that because
now disclaimer, we're not talking about cold black folks that go to these HBCU. We just talking about them Boule bourgeois jokers.
I pledge me serving the United States military, so I really don't have an appreciation for the frat life. So having said that, these people are not leaders. These people are administrators. Okay? And you said, well, wow, Professor, why you say that? So it don't matter whether Biden gave these HBCU all this money or Trump. Some people arguing that Trump didn't give them $500 million. It don't matter. You know what my problem is with that? I'm not going to put these HBCUs on blast. You can do your research yourself. But there's a handful of them who are embezzling the very money that these people are saying that they supposed to got, whether it's from Biden or Trump. That's the problem that I have right now. Why, how can you have a conversation and you can't even get the world to take you serious because you're incompetent? You're incompetent when it comes to the money. You're an administrator. You're not leading anything. So the first thing that has to be done, is that we have to be accountable to ourselves. And until that happens, nobody's going to take you serious. So you can start right there.
And to piggyback on that, Professor Voss and Dr. Juice, that's the point we were making earlier in our conversation. We have to get back to being that moral community that don't allow people like Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B,
Right.
Sexy Red to be part of our political scene. How is it that you can have such a raunchy representation of my group of people if you want to be taken seriously? No, sir. No, ma'am.
Can I give you a response that I was giving to that, Brother Mark?
Yes, sir.
Because this is, again, you know, we have what I call a simple-minded culture in our community. Simple-minded. So, you know what the simple-minded told me?
What?
They said without that, it would have been boring.
Wow.
Make it make sense.
Yeah. Maybe we should have barbecued. Did they barbecue some chicken and ribs for them too?
They did that at the White House on Juneteenth, sir.
Yeah, I forgot about that. My bad.
Yeah, they did the barbecue at the White House.
Yeah, and they probably served some of those collard greens out the bathtub.
Yeah. What I want to know though, and I asked Dr. Juice, I just want to. Hey, listen, if she can cook collard greens, fine and all that, but do she put neck bones in the green? What she put in them?
That's the question. Because I have seen, just because people can boil some greens, that don't mean they're gonna taste good. Hey, anybody that know me,
she gonna put them in the bathtub.
man, she probably gonna put curry. She gonna put curry in them. Watch.
See, here's the challenge that I have. Okay, and it's the same thing that's going on in your own community. You talk about B Street. My mama was a big part of why B Street Community Center exists today. She partnered with Red Pillsbury, who was the mayor at the time. Okay, now you take that B Street Center. That B Street Center hasn't had an audit in 12, 15 years. And that money, the last money, and everything that I'm telling you, you fact check me on it. The last money that they got was $50,000. They haven't gotten any money since then from the local government. Okay? And you have to ask yourself, well, why? Because you're proving yourself to be financially incompetent. So Dr. Juice, until we can find a way to hold the people accountable in our own communities, it's very difficult to go to the government and appeal for what we rightfully should have. But when you get it, how do you hold your people accountable to do the right thing with the money, which they're not doing? In other words, I'll give you another example. You got the CRA there in Lake Wells, all right? And you got a little bit of money, and what's the first thing that you did? You went down there and put some paint. You put some paint in the middle of the road. And here's where the insult to injury. You didn't even pay somebody locally to do it. You went outside the community and paid them some of the resources in your community, which somebody from your community or business, somebody should have had that job. So my point is, you're gonna have to fix your own house, like Malcolm X said, before you trade ownership for integration. You're gonna have to fix your own house before you go out here and expect the rest of the world to take you serious.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I got a quick video I want to play real quick again on these secret societies we talking about and how what Professor, this just going to piggyback off of what Professor is saying.
All this stuff was designed to create secret societies. Those fraternities, the people that they want in business, banking, politics, leadership, they got to come out of those societies. Same way with the women. They've got to come out of those societies. And they have to pledge your allegiance, and you have to be a part of it. And most of them, because those societies, Greek societies, they sing Christian songs sometimes, and they do a lot of Christian stuff. The people in them think they're Christian because most black folk, when they send their kids off to school, they came up usually in some type of Christian home, So that's how they fool you, because you thinking because they're saying something, they might even talk about God. But if you listen to the oaths, which nobody hears but the initiates, and you realize they're talking about covenants with these Greek deities, or these really spirits. Are y'all come on? Can we talk or not talk? So listen. So because this black boule, which is the black fraternities and sororities, their goal was to be advisors to the king. It's an elite. It's the elect group of black folk, the educated elect group of black folk that they use to keep white interest on top. This is why Obama didn't do nothing for us, and y'all shocked. He came out of that. How you gonna do something for us? If you get in power, it's because you're gonna protect the king. Just listen. I begin to break it down and show them that, brother, all this stuff was designed to create secret societies, and out of those fraternities, they pick.
All right, y'all get it.
Yeah.
Y'all get it. That was short and quick to the point. These people, these so-called black leaders, are the actual roadblocks or the gatekeepers of the society, the dominant society. And they keep you from being lifted or progressing to the next level of economics, because think about it. If they only allowing certain people to come through the gate, and when you get on the other side of the gate is economic freedom, they're not going to allow you to have economic freedom, because you're going to start siphoning out of their resources. So that's why they put the Al Sharptons, the Jesse Jacksons, the Obamas, the Kamalas, the people that's deceiving you right now, the Sheila Lee Jacksons, the what's the girl from California always talking about Donald Trump? Donald Trump is a racist. What's her name? You know her name. Oh, I can't think of her name.
Maxine
Waters. And they talk about what they doing for foundational black society, and they're really not doing nothing. I'm like, you looking at your bank account, and then you listening to these people, and then you saying, wait a minute. Now, she said this, but wait a minute. I'm looking over here, and I'm struggling right now in 2024 to pay my light bill. I'm struggling in 2024 to pay my rent, my mortgage. I'm barely putting food on the table. This can't be right. I'll keep voting for these people, but it seems like like Professor just said, seems like we're getting lower and lower and lower on the economic totem pole. Y'all chime in, man. Let me know if I'm lying now. Let me know if I'm lying, Professor.
Do your own research. Do your own research. I'm not gonna put them on blast like that, because I'm still one or two of them are still negotiating with. And see, and that's the other thing. Not only are they taking that money and embezzling it, okay? And I'm telling you, go Google them. Google Google HBCUs and embezzlement, and several of them will come up. Okay, but here's the other sad commentary. At least on the technology side, they don't have nobody that looks like you running the technology department. Okay, I'm a technologist, and that's my main beef with the HBCUs. Most of them even have a Chinese and Indian, and that's why I don't teach in America right now, because it just makes me feel a certain kind of way to have to interview at a black school, and I got a Chinese interviewing me. That's hard. So I don't teach in America no more.
And on
Gotcha.
on your point, when we spoke, that's why, this mismanagement of money is one reason why Deion Sanders had to leave Jackson State, because he was bringing that stuff to light. He was tracking money. He was like, why is this? He was asking too many questions. And like we run into when we try to have a normal discussion, the emotion come in and the disrespect come in, and then now you can't even have a discussion. So that was one reason why he had to leave Jackson State, because he couldn't get the answers he needed in order to do the things he wanted to do. And you had too many hands in the cookie jar, and the people that should have been getting benefit from it wasn't, which is the students. And
Speaking of Deion,
yes.
Go ahead, bro, Mark.
Go ahead.
Finish up,
No,
bro.
go ahead. No, well, the
Speaking
only
of
thing I was
Deion,
gonna say is,
go
I
ahead.
remember when and like the professor said, I remember FAMU having those very issues also. And like you say, just like many HBCUs, just because you're an educated person don't mean you educated in finance. You're not educated. You gotta put the right people in the right positions. That's one of the strongest qualities of a leader.
Yes, sir.
Even though you don't have to know everything, but you gotta recognize people for their strengths and their weaknesses, and you gotta put them in the right places.
Absolutely.
I can't expect for people to come to me to teach them cybersecurity. But I do know one thing: you can come to me, and I will get you with Dr. Voss, so he can get you with cybersecurity. So Professor Voss can get you where you need to be with that. So that is what leaders do. Leaders don't try to hog up all the fame and pretend like they know everything when they don't know something. And I think that's one of our problems when you get a president of a HBCU or whatever. That's what we have with our African nations, with our black-led countries.
Right.
The same thing.
Yep.
So
Yep.
they
But
know.
speaking of leaders in the community and Deion and just everybody, I know a lot of time people come to this platform, right? And I'm kind of known for being a little raspy with my message and my delivery. And family, I'm gonna tell y'all about Dr. Juice. I was raised by one of the mothers that was a hitter. You know the kind, right, Professor? They just a hitter. They don't care about being moist. They don't care about being all soft. Man, my mom used to listen. My mom used to punch me in the chest when I was acting too weak. My dad ain't have to do it. Even though if he did it, man, listen. And just to keep it 100 with y'all, I come from a 2-parent household. So I'm not crapping on anybody who been raised by a single mother or whatever, or, stepmother, stepfather, whatever the case may be. I'm not doing that. But I just want to give y'all a little bit of insight into my world and why I'm so direct like I am. and like I'm really about this life, you know. I'm really like direct like this. I try to get politically correct sometimes, but it just never goes well for me. It never works out. And I promise you, fella, I've tried. But boy, we're in a crisis right now. We at war. So when I'm bringing you this word and I'm bringing you this message, bro, I want you to look at this as a war briefing. Get what I'm saying? Because we are at war. And so when you at war, you can't show weakness. You cannot like be so passive to the way you have no aggressiveness about yourself. So that's the reason why Juice is always raw with his message. And I give y'all this work and I give y'all this hot fire, because where we are, the position we are, and the circumstances we're dealing with in this country, we have no room to be like soft-spoken. And I get it, man. I know, listen, now with the kids, I'm very sensitive and I'm understanding. But with you grown jokers, in my ludicrous voice, move, bitch. Get out the way. So let me play this video, and this is going to explain. I like how this boy break this down right here, because this kind of like, it kind of resonated with me a little bit. And I know a lot of people don't like this guy right here, but I want you to see some of this guy work, and I want you to see this guy always got a good message, man. So I want to play this real quick. See if I can play it for y'all.
Von, Nipsey, Rolling 60, and if you killed in my community, I'm gonna say you did it, nigga.
Try it one more time. Hold on. Get it from the beginning. Hopefully I can get it from the beginning. Nah, what?
I address killers. I say fuck King Von, Nipsey, Rolling 60, and if you killed in my community, I'm gonna say you did it, nigga. You don't get to ride around here and holler no snitching. Who did that killing? The nigga come out and say they shot that baby. And you bitch ass nigga better turn y'all self in, nigga, and we ready to go to war with that. See, Dion don't do that.
Who is, when you say we, who?
Me. And I got some niggas go to war. Now I got some niggas go to war, homie.
See, this is the thing, Charleston. Like, I think everything that you're saying has some truth to it. It's just the delivery. You standing, there's no denying that you're standing for and by your people.
Well, here's the thing. When you addressing evil, you can't worry about the delivery. When you looking at the conditions of our community, you can't worry about the evil when you got kids that kill kids and say we smoking on Tuka. See, they wasn't worried about the delivery when these kids in Chicago were talking about smoking on Tuka. They wasn't worried about the delivery. I ain't got no manners for no slut. I'm gonna put my thumb in her butt. The delivery? I like girls kissing girls where I'm from, and that's on the radio. Girls on girls, that's promoting lesbianism to my daughter as we driving to school. This song they playing with Drake. Y'all worried about the delivery? These niggas talking about killing each other. They really, that nigga Thug said, nigga, I shot at your mama. You don't mention me no more. He really shot that nigga mama. And y'all worried about my delivery? These niggas are confessing to murders on songs. And y'all worried about my delivery? The conditions of black sucking them talking about booty hole. Y'all worried about my delivery? Come on, don't be hypocrites, black people. Y'all can't listen to this music if y'all so caught up in my delivery. Don't do me like that. And the way y'all snap and pop y'all pussies to this music, the way y'all kill and drill to this music, don't trip about my delivery. Hey, yo, Easy, why you wear your pants like that? I wear my pants like that because that's easy access, baby. Easy, why you talk like that? I talk like that to get my point across. Because when I wasn't talking like that, wearing a bow tie, y'all wasn't paying me no attention, and I was going to the Supreme Court changing laws and legislation in this country. I was working with over 50 U.S. congressional members, from Ted Cruz to Mark Rubio, Senator John Cornyn. I was on the front page of the American Bar Association Journal. I had done a study with News Crike School. Y'all wasn't paying attention then. So nigga, I gave y'all what y'all want. A ignorant motherfucking nigga that talk like them rappers. Now y'all listening. Now y'all paying attention, huh? I got y'all attention, checkmate. Now let me tell y'all what y'all need to hear. We fucked up as a race of people since y'all so caught up into my delivery. 5% of children now are catching HIV from ages 13 to 21. What y'all worried about? 85% of the new chlamydia, all the new cases are teenagers. What y'all so caught up about? Nigga, only 35% of most kids in inner cities can read on or above their grade level. What the fuck are y'all talking about? These kids can't read. Come on, my nigga. So if we gonna be real, let's be real.
There it is. There it is. That boy said some big stuff. He said Dion at the beginning. Y'all missed it at the beginning. He said Dion helped football players. He said I'll address killers.
Yes, sir.
That
Yes,
thing
sir.
right there, man. That thing struck me today, man. I've been listening to that all day long for inspiration.
Yeah.
That boy said
Yeah.
something big, and they be at that boy head because that boy stand on truth, and a lot of people can't take the truth. A lot of people can't accept the truth. That's why a lot of people don't tune in to Urban Matters, because they can't take the truth. Because I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. I'm gonna give it to you blood raw. Yeah. Yeah. And for anybody want to come with anything on this site, because these men on here telling the truth, you better tell them, Mark. We walk around with some big sticks too.
That's right.
So, hey, and we train. We train at it. We ain't just running around with it. This man here, military minds on here, man. We not, listen. This is not a platform for people who
Feels
want other
very
people
soft.
to protect them. Yeah.
Right.
We protect our own self over here. So just let that be known. And we want to help the younger generations. That's why we got the professor, and we're finna get ready to crank up this technology. We're finna get ready to crank up data scientists learning. We're learning AI learning over here. Family, there's nothing you can do with this AI. You waited too long. You sat on your ass too long. This stuff is here now. So you might as well embrace it and master it. Professor?
Well, I tell you, it's kind of hard to come behind Charleston White, and we need way more accountability in our communities. One of the other problems that I see in our community, and again, I get accused of bashing and putting down, and this is certainly not that. I'm pointing out data facts, and I've never been understand this whole cultural religion that we have that's really so divisive in our communities. I don't understand how now that the church is the only institution that's left in the Black community, while we really need to build and rebuild business institutions in our community, I don't understand how you could have so many churches in one place, and you look at the social and economic and political issues around the proximity of these churches, and what's the impact? All I see, and this is, again, the whole, some of them are boule, some of them are not, but what is it about these people that got to go around so self-absorbed, where, you got all these prophecies and deacons and bishops, and I'm pastor this and I'm this and I'm that, but yet still I'm not seeing any on the ground, like what was the young man that we had? I think his name was Brother Zed over there on Ohio Street.
Right.
Yes.
Brother Zed.
And he has this social media platform where he's literally on the ground dealing with people with issues, dealing with, literally ministering. And from what I know about Jesus, that's what Jesus did. But all I see is a bunch of folks on Facebook with the chest stuck out, you know, so self-absorbed who they think that they are. You know, when I think about these other institutions, I always refer to the Jewish community, where they use the synagogue. They use the synagogue for extended education. That's why their people are either lawyers or doctors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have so many what I call underutilized church buildings. Underutilized church buildings. So how can you have an underutilized building, right? And half of your people can't read. Half of your children can't read. They need supplemental education. You have so many retired teachers just in your community. Retired teachers, educators. Why aren't they organized and supplementing the education in your community? These type of things. Well, I don't get it. These are the kind of issues that you're going to have to organize and address in your community.
And I think one thing that kind of goes back to what I spoke about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
We no longer have a quote unquote community. Everybody's running out. Everybody want to go move into that new subdivision down the street with all the pretty houses and everything. And nobody's rebuilding the community. Whereas when we were growing up, we had doctors, we had teachers, we had lunchroom ladies, we had bus drivers, we had mechanics, we had any kind of person we wanted right there in our community that we can look up to and we can go to. But we don't have that now, because when somebody do become a doctor, they run out. When they become a lawyer, they run out. When they become whatever, they run out. Nobody stays. And so then everybody just sort of look down on the community now because I got out of there. Well, and then when you get out, you don't reach back anyway.
Don't invest.
And
yes.
right. And so it's hard for everybody to come together. So I spoke with Dr. Juice about this. I think we should do something similar to this and almost create like a yellow pages for everybody in our quote unquote community, everybody in all the foundational Black people in our city. And we get all their information and information mine similar to the way we're being done every day when we go to Winn-Dixie or Publix or anywhere else. And now when we need a mechanic, we know we can go to our yellow pages and we can find us a mechanic that look like us, that's ASE certified and everything else.
Yes,
when we
like
need a doctor,
like a green book type of network, right?
Yeah, we gotta go back.
Professor been talking about that too. Me and Professor, we've been talking about that, but me and Brother Mark, we definitely be always talking about group economics, and that's what I want to touch on next, family. Group economics. Go ahead, Professor.
We have that capability. We have that capability now. Okay?
Yes.
In our platform.
Yes.
The challenge is that we're self-financed. We have that capability. We have some amazing capability, but we're very careful about, how we receive money, how we make money, because we're unbought and unbossed. We're not just going to take money from anybody. But let me just go back to some other things that you were just saying earlier, Brother Mark. The reason why people are leaving is because we don't know how to self-govern ourselves. So you're moving to places where you think is safer. The places that you're moving away from, and I'll say this again, there's no leadership. These Boule people that you're talking about, at best, they are administrators. They're not leaders. They're not leaders. For instance, I'll back up and ask you another question, Brother Mark. You're a military man. You ex-military. Appreciate your service.
Thank you, sir.
Would you follow Commandment into danger?
Never.
Would you follow Stacey Abrams into danger?
Never. That's a louder never.
So
Great
there's
question.
no leadership. These type of people, they are administrators. To be honest with you, I wouldn't follow Trump. I wouldn't follow Trump into danger. I would just have to be a deserter because either one of them gonna get me killed based on their behavior. But my point is, we don't have leadership. We don't have the institution that's teaching leadership. When you traded ownership for integration, you got rid of your institutions. See, we had people that taught that when we had Roosevelt. We had great men in our communities. We had Mr. Brody. We had Mr. Batson. We had Mr. Sims. We had all of these strong black men who were a part of our institution. But again, when you traded ownership for integration, you lost all of that. So you don't have anyone teaching leadership. You don't have anyone demonstrating leadership. So until we can build our own educational platform, which we have the resources to teach leadership. You don't have to go ask permission to teach anything. That's what we didn't ask permission to do what we're doing now. We put our minds together, we put our resources together, and here we are educated. And every time we do a live, guess what? Our numbers are getting higher and higher and higher. And what is that telling you? That's telling you that we're giving people in your community an option other than shouting Jesus' name.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, like I said, family, tonight, we're discussing Black group economics. We're discussing economics demands and strategies for our vote. We want to know what benefits are Black foundational Black Americans going to get at the polls this year. We don't care about reproductive health. We're not real concerned about immigration reform. Well, we do want reform now. But we're just not concerned about our house has been burning down way longer than the immigrants' house is burning down. And so that's what we're concerned about here in America, being a foundational Black American, being a founder of this country, built a lot of this country. As far as the wealth of this country was made and developed on our ancestors back, on our elders and whatnot back. And so what we're looking for, especially as Black men, we're standing up now and we're standing in the paint and we're standing on our squares and we're telling these politicians, hey, and I'm gonna just be keeping buck 100 with you. Trump's really the only one that's came up with some Black conversation, like with the Platinum Plan. And he sat down also in 2020 with Ice Cube and wanted to discuss Ice Cube's contract with Black America. Family, you can look that up at contractwithblackamerica.com. You can look that up. And Trump's the only one that's really came out and specifically addressed the issues of foundational Black Americans. And he said it. He pretty much said it, and he said, hey, no, I'm not talking about Black people. I'm not talking about minorities. I'm talking about, and he said it. I think I need to pull that clip up because I don't think they believe us on this platform. And y'all on a lot of goofy stuff right now, man. Y'all, like, I try to give y'all real serious topics that we can address. And just because I point out the truth and the facts that Trump is doing in America, you come out, oh, dude, you must be like the Orange Man. Okay, so what if I like the Orange Man? So what if I'm looking at my grandkids and I'm thinking 20 years from now, like, where we gonna be? Sometimes I look at them, man, and I just start crying, man. That's like, because with the leadership that we have in place now, and then with you goofballs, Not y'all on this line and not y'all on this platform, but y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all goofball. I'm talking about y'all ghost watchers. The people that be watching the show like a ghost. You there, but you don't want to be seen. I call them ghost watchers. And you know that we're telling the truth about what we're saying. I'm talking to y'all. And I look at my grandkids and I'm like tears come to my eyes, man. I don't even know why. I'm a grown man crying because I'm looking at them and I know, man, there's nothing going to be left with how we're moving and how we're allowing ourselves to be deceived. And don't nobody want to talk about it. Nobody want to address the elephant in the room. You get what I'm saying? I'm apolitical right now. But you let me go to the polls this year and I see something policies on that ballot that agree with me. Like Malcolm X said, the ballot or the bullet. Which one you want? The ballot or the bullet? Go look up that video on YouTube. Go ahead, bro, Mark.
And my brother, for me, I'm not 100% down with anybody walking on the face of the earth.
Absolutely.
So in politics, I can't be looking for somebody that I'm 100% down with.
Right.
But I can say this. In politics, what I need is for somebody who's gonna attempt to address issues that my community suffer from.
Absolutely.
At least attempt. At least give it a try. Don't give me benign neglect over and over and over and over again. Don't keep what they say, gaslighting us and making us think stuff and you're doing something else. No, don't do us like that. We are smarter than that. So let's stop being educated fools and falling for all the brainwashing that we've received and actually use our brains and say, this one is good here. This one is bad here. This one is good here. This one is good here. And figure out which one does the most for us and ride with it. But when you ask somebody, why do you choose this person? That person has to be able to state factual reasons as to why. Or let me say it like this. They don't have to. But if you want to consider yourself an educated voter, you should be able to state why you want to do something as an adult. I want to do it because of A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And if only thing you're going to come with is a bunch of optics, because they get us with optics and shiny things, just like they did when they landed on these shores. They're going to give you little trinkets and little shiny things to get your attention. You know, the Orange Man and Kamala, Chucks and Pearls and collard greens and all this mess.
Pandering.
Right. And also isn't it disrespectful? Isn't it stereotypical? All us like hot sauce on our collard greens, so I'm gonna take a picture with some collard greens and some hot sauce. But it's okay? That's not okay for me. Because I'm telling you one thing, if the Orange Man did the exact same thing, it'll be a problem.
Oh my God. They'll have a
fit. So why is it not a problem for her? Because she haven't did it any of these other years. So if we haven't seen you eating collard greens all these other years, why is it all of a sudden we seeing you eating collard greens? See, I got questions. Yeah. So, but off of the politics and into our neighborhood politics, we also talked about, like Professor Voss said, these underused spaces, these churches. We got all these buildings around here. We got all these educators and all these people in education, all these people in nursing and so forth. Why can't we use these underused spaces to start teaching our young people stuff that's going to help them? Because we are losing all of those skills that we used to have, those hand skills that nobody can take from you. Because I tell people all the time, you would never starve me. because I can do everything from put down the foundation to put the roof on a house. And then I can do the same thing with a car. And it goes on and on. So I can always produce an income with my hands. But we have to learn, like Professor Voss trying to teach everybody, we have to learn how to make money without sweating.
Absolutely.
But if we have something to just in case. So that is what we can use these underutilized areas for, to educate our kids to be more than just the next great football player, the next great basketball player. That's the only thing we support. And we got to support more than that, because our kids are more than that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let me give you an equal opportunity. Don't like either other party. So, if the orange man was as smart as he said he is, and if he wanted my vote, he talks about bringing industry back to America. But what he don't talk about is, if he wanted my vote, how do you get those industries into these depressed areas where people need work? Okay, how do you build? The question is, can you build manufacturing in the black community? Can we build something? Number one on that side. So that's the issue. That right there would get my vote if you told me that you were going to bring some of these industries, these manufacturing industries that you're going to bring into America. What percentage of that across the country would you be willing to put in black communities? Number one. On the other party, when you was talking about your grandkids, Dr. Juice, and y'all fact check me on this. Can you introduce any kind of religion in the school system? Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, internet. Can you do that?
No.
No.
But what you can't, what they are allowing you can do, you can bring that rainbow in the school system.
Right.
Now, let me talk about the rainbow for a minute. And again,
rainbow alphabet people.
Well,
not in Florida though.
Rainbow, so let me just tell you what that's all about. In my opinion, the rainbow is about, I don't like myself. I don't like who I am. So I'm going to change myself into who I want to be or who I think I am. And I don't want to be ashamed about it. So in our culture, we talk about warriors, we talk about manhood, we talk about building our communities. So would you want anyone to convince your son who is developing, he's going through his puberty, his adolescence, and you want him on that manhood track? But the rainbow people telling him that it's okay. Hey, bro, why don't you try this dress on?
You're not securing your manhood.
Right. So if you can't, I don't get, and I don't do religion, but if you cannot allow, if the religion is not allowed in the school system, I don't understand how this culture of sexuality, you talk about your little girls. So let me ask you something, Dr. Juice. Would you want your little girls to go to a pride parade where all this sexually explicit behavior is taking place?
Absolutely not.
Would you want your little grandbabies to witness that?
Absolutely not. And that's the thing, Professor. They try to make it seem like that pride thing is about you being proud about your gender identity. But to me, that whole pride thing is about what your bedroom life is like.
Yes.
And then
it has nothing to do with gender.
And then as a black man, It's like we can't. Oh, you can't talk. They're gonna cancel you if you talk. Nah, bro, we're gonna talk about it because it's not relevant to number one, our culture, and number two, we can dislike something without not disliking people.
Right.
I'll tell anybody. Listen, I have more alphabet gay people customers, and I love their business. When one gay customer buy from me, they gonna call their friends and they gonna spend money. Them people spend money with me, but that don't mean that I like their culture.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I got gay cousins and family members, and I love the crap out of them. But at the same time, you're not going to try to pull the Jedi mind trick on me and make me think that being gender equality and all of this stuff has to do with you walking around with your genitals out in front of little kids, little toddlers. Right. I can't go to the cripple parade and walk around butt naked. How you get to walk around butt naked?
That's exactly right.
You know what I'm saying? So come on, man, it's so twisted, man, and I just don't understand the whole concept of the thing, and really don't care for it much to even discuss it. But like you say, we need to discuss it because they get him. The thing I don't understand is how do they get lumped in as a minority? That's what I want to know. Like how they just started in the 80s, in the 90s or whatever, and you had clubs in New York, you had places like the Village up in New York and
San Francisco.
Yeah. I remember back when I was coming up, we used to go to the club. The gay people had their little club, and we had our own little club. Hey, we couldn't go over to the gay club. And then, let's talk about something about Don Lemon. Don Lemon is facing charges right now because he groped a man and grabbed the man's privates in a club one night. He was drunk, and it's like they kind of swept it under the rug. You didn't hear nothing else about it. But these jokers get to make advances at you, and because I've been to Atlanta and I've got hit on in Atlanta, and it's a very uncomfortable feeling. And these people, they don't get sexual harassment charges like everybody else gets sexual harassment charges. So like R. Kelly, some of these people make R. Kelly look like child's play. No pun intended.
Well, here's the thing with that, Dr. Juice. You were talking about Obama and we were talking about voting Democrat and all that. Let me explain what happened. Obama scammed black people. Okay?
Yeah, he did.
I don't know how else to say it. Obama scammed black people.
Yes, he did.
So in the second term, when they discovered that first of all, when Obama ran for the first time, more black people went to the polls than ever in the whole history of black people voting in America. More black people. Look at the data. More black people. So when they looked at the polls in his second term and black people figured out that they were scammed, the strategy was to embrace the gay community and give them tangible results, tangible benefits. So what did they get? They got a hate bill. They got the ability to marry each other. That is what helped Obama win his second term. It wasn't the black vote. It was the gay vote.
Yeah.
It was the gay vote.
Yeah.
And their benefits have superseded yours. The problem that I have with the rainbow community, is that once again, like everybody else, they've hijacked our cause. They've aligned their cause with the civil rights. I have a problem with that. I have a real big problem with that. If you want to be gay, and if you want to tell your gay story of how you were denied and all that, I support that. I don't believe that all human beings have human rights. I don't believe that a person, just because you're gender confused or you want to even change your gender, that you should be attacked or you should be abused. I don't believe it. And guess what? I serve my country. I would stand up for. I would not allow a gay person to be abused like that because I believe in human rights.
I agree.
But at the same token, you cannot hijack my culture for your own benefit. That's the problem that I have. That's the problem that I have with commandment. If she would have came out and said, hey, I'm an Indian, I'm a proud Indian, this is who I am, I would feel better about that than I do watching you pandering blackness.
And my problem with her is the fact that she used us so she can get her a free college education, pretending to be black. And then when she finished with her college, she used black men, Montel Williams, to get her status, and then Willie Brown to get even more status and more positions and more money. And then once she got it, she went on and locked down her a good white man, and then she started identifying as Asian or
brother,
Jewish, man.
You talking like she a hoe.
Well, that's, if you talk to people that was out there at that time, they describe it similar to that.
You talking about her?
And so I'll say she was very determined to get where she is today. Right. So you know, and make it so bad. It's not that I'm telling tales on her. I'm not weaving some strange odyssey on calamity or anything. Only thing I'm saying is this is her history, and we can look it up any day. And so if it's okay for her to lie about being black, and then I got some people saying, oh, we have a 1 drop rule. Okay, so what drop of foundational Black American do she have? That's a 0 on that. Her dad was Indian and he was part Jamaican, not foundational Black American. And he identified, and her mother identified as Indian. And they called, in Jamaica, they call him a coolie because his grandparents owned slaves in Jamaica. So in Jamaica, they called them coolies. So if we're going to vote for somebody, we might want to look into them. And if we want to start standing behind somebody, we might want to look into them. So that's why, you know, when I see all these optics, you know, they come up with her looking like Captain America or whoever, and all these cute little optics. What kind of substance are we bringing with this? I need some substance.
Well, check this out.
Call me auntie.
Okay, I won't call you auntie. They'll be like, how could you call her by her first name? She's worked so hard. Okay, so what we're gonna cook today is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because you are Indian.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't know that everybody knows that, but I find that wherever I go and I see Indian people at the supermarket, on the street, everyone's like, you know, Kamala Harris is Indian, right? It's like our thing we're so excited about to have you running for president.
Yeah.
So we're both Indian, but actually we're both South Indian.
Yes. You look like the entire one half of my family.
Okay, thank you.
You do.
I've been telling people we're related already, so this is perfect. It's basically true. And so were you raised eating South Indian food?
South Indian food, lots of rice and yogurt, potato curry.
You just heard her double down on it 3 times. Double down on it 3 times.
Man. Oh, it's a lot more than that too. I don't even understand why this person is a conversation, because we're we should be much more smarter than that. But when it's emotionalized, it creates other issues. Dr. Juice, I sent you an email on something. I wanted you to see it because it goes all the way back. See, they've been doing the same thing to us since the 18th century.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing. This is just Groundhog Day. You know how we hear everything is cyclical?
Right.
Well, that's what we live in. This is cyclical.
Right.
And that's similar to how we looking now. We see they building all these car washes and everything. That's straight from the 70s, right? And now instead of malls, we went back to shopping centers, but they call them town centers. And then after a while, they're gonna go back to mall. And then next thing you know, the car wash is gonna be gone. And so, everything is cyclical. And so and the way we're kept in this little bubble. Remember, you was talking about the circumference of our awareness.
Right.
And we stay in that little circumference because we're not recognizing what's going on out here. We're staying right here in our little circumference of awareness.
Yes, sir.
And so we have to recognize. So I sent you that because I wanted you to see that all of this political stuff that we're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
it happened in the 18th and 19th century.
Yeah, Professor said that the other day. Did he say, Professor said the exact same thing the other day, bro. Mark. He said, man, you know what? This stuff we've been talking about the same stuff for 300-400 years, man.
Yeah.
What the hell?
It's
So
sad.
let me throw something in there. Let me go a little sideways on you.
Yes, sir.
Let me give you a professor fun fact. The Jews in Lake Wales helped raise me. The Freelanders, they did a lot of business with my daddy. Okay. I'm the first black person that ever worked for the Freelanders in Lake Wales. They were the most wealthy people in Lake Wales. So when I tell you that I love Jewish people, I learned a lot from them, and the Freelanders helped raise me. And they did a lot of business. In fact, my daddy built half of Highland Park. If you look at the street names, all the street names was named after the Freelanders' daughter. Okay? Sarah, Lisa, Lauren, all those people. So that's my history with the Jews. I know them very well. I can't help but ask myself this question when I look at this political situation. She married to a Jewish man, and her running partner is Jewish. And if I know Jewish people the way I do, there's some pimping going on in that situation, bro.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
You know he's coming out. He's coming out with an infidelity situation he's trying to come clean about now ever since she's running for president, because they know for a fact all the dirt is going to be dug up of anything that surrounds Kamala Harris. So it's going to come up. So Mr. Doug, his name's Doug. She goes home to Doug every night. She don't go home to Tyrone. She go home to Doug.
Leave my Jewish friend alone.
I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all sorry. I'm petty, y'all. Please, I'm petty, y'all. I'm just petty like that, y'all.
That's my friend. Leave my friend alone.
Yeah.
Dougie. Hey, Dougie. You know, I'm going to go ahead and whip up some collard greens with
greens for Dougie.
Salt and pepper in it.
No, you gotta have. See, there's a mistake. Jewish people eat kosher salt, bro. That shit got to be kosher.
Hey, what that boy you actually you want this? You say she forgot the neck bones. She ain't saying nothing about she put neck bones in the greens. She just cooking greens.
But you gotta,
no smoked meat, no smoked meat at all.
For Jewish people, bro, you got to have kosher collard greens.
Yeah, kosher.
Yes.
Meat. You know they use kosher blades too. They have metal that they use to cut their meat. If they don't have it, they won't eat it.
You can't feed Jewish people any kind of food, bro.
You can't. Sure can't.
She was panning at y'all. I know she don't cook that for Doug because it got to be kosher.
Mm-hmm.
And Go to the paragraph, Dr. Juice.
Okay, there we go.
You got that, and then you got until the early 18th century. Okay, and then you got the rest. And that come from our elder, Dr. Claude Anderson.
Right. Let's see. Oh, that's something else I got there. I don't know what that is, boy. I'm messing up there.
Yeah.
It's
See,
on
that's
Juice.
the rest of it. And you know, and I see us doing the exact same stuff, you know. And what I want is, I want for us to go ahead on and start utilizing and rebuilding, because you remember everything is cyclical. So we're going to end up in a situation where we have to rebuild. But you know what the difference is going to be? The very thing we spoke about and what Professor Voss talked about. He says his daddy built half of Highland Park. His daddy built cross the highway portion of it too, right, Dr. Voss? I mean, Professor Voss?
The new portion on the other side.
Right. And so, you know, but you know the biggest difference? These right here. Our young people aren't learning those hand skills. They're not learning trades.
Nope.
So where we had trades and we learned trades before, and you couldn't starve us, now when that cycle come back around, you're gonna be able to start my grandbabies, because they're not interested in trades. They want to play video games and do all this other stuff. And so unless we're positioned and we have our young people positioned to where they not only are computer savvy, but they also can get out there and work with their hands, we will starve when that cycle come around.
I think that cycle's here now, bro, Mark.
Yeah, we're right around the corner.
Well,
We are right around the corner.
Let me throw something else at you then from a professor perspective.
Yes,
This
sir.
for you. A white man with only a high school education, in a lot of cases, make more money than a black man with a college degree. How about that one?
Mm-hmm.
They told you again when you traded ownership for integration, they told you, son, go to school, get a good education so you can get a good job.
Yes.
But here's where your problem. First of all, now you got student debt. You got debt because guess what? You got a worthless degree.
Mm-hmm.
And then that man ain't gonna let you come in there and run his business with your degree. A lot of black folks walk around here talk, oh well, I'm the director of this and I'm the director of that, and then they find themselves surplus, laid off. And you're gonna see a lot of that. You're gonna see a lot of that with this digital transformation. You're gonna see a lot of that with this robotic process automation. You're gonna see a lot of this with Gen AI.
Yes.
So you're gonna see a lot of black folks with these worthless degrees don't know what to do with their hands, and they're gonna be unemployed. 45% of the people who are homeless in LA are black. 45%. I got to throw this picture up, man. When I think about that,
Hold up, let me run this here video real quick.
Go ahead.
See if y'all can hear it.
I believe a child going without an education is tantamount to a crime. So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy. Well, this was a little controversial in San Francisco. And frankly, my staff went bananas. They were very concerned because we didn't know at the time whether I was going to have an opponent in my re-election race. I believe a child going without an education is tantamount to a crime. So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy. Well, this was a little controversial in San Francisco.
And you know what?
She
Parents do
laughing
prosecute.
about prosecuting the parent. Now, please, somebody inform me. How's that gonna help the child if the parent locked up? They get kicked out of their house. Their car get took because the parent locked up. The child go into foster care. How is that helping the child? Somebody help me out.
It's just digging
Somebody.
a deeper hole. And it's putting you, and I think it was just, it was just political salad so she can get a higher prosecution rate. That's all. Because you know her numbers weren't the greatest as a prosecutor. But yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't.
Man. All right, Professor, we're queuing you in.
Well, I mean, that pretty much should explain, in my opinion, when all of this circusry is over with, how are black people going? How are you going to make money with artificial intelligence, with Gen AI, with these other groups who are coming? And let me give you a news flash. We have a surplus workforce.
Yep.
So what is going to happen when this circus is over with? How are you going to make money? If
That's a good picture.
How are you going
That's
to
a
make
good
money?
picture.
How are you going to make money? If you have these people, these people right here, they all graduate from an HBCU. They all have degrees. They're worthless, but they still have degrees. And then here's the other thing. Most black people degree does not equal to their economic wealth. It's not equivalent at all. You figure, let me ask you all a question. What is the, I always have to give you a quiz, but what is the economic threshold for middle class in America? What is that? What is that number? Do you know what that number is?
In middle class 1 to 200.
Okay. How about you, Dr. Juice? Because you know I'm good at giving F's.
Give me the question one more time.
I said, what is the financial indicator that indicates you are in the middle class? What is that number? What is that financial number, the annual number that you need to be at to be considered middle class in America?
Yeah, I think it's
I say I thought it was around 190.
No, sir. At a minimum.
At a minimum.
At a minimum, what is it that you need to make at a minimum to be considered middle class by American standards?
70,000.
No, sir.
It's over 100. I know that.
The answer is, of course, both of y'all got F's on that, but the answer is 125.
Yeah, thought so. Yeah.
So okay, it's 125. You can fact check me on it.
Mm-hmm.
The average black person with a bachelor's degree and even a master's degree, for that matter, don't make $125,000.
Wow.
And if you want another statistic that you can fact check me on, only 6% of black Americans in America make six figures. Only 6%.
Wow.
Yeah, meditate on that for a minute.
And let me tell you an experience, something that I experienced. I had a neighbor who, she was a white woman. she was so proud of her niece, and she was telling me and my wife about, what went down at the time. And her niece had got a job with Amazon. So I hear her niece got a job with Amazon. So I'm like, oh, I instantly put in my mind, okay, so she's making what, about 50, 60,000, maybe? This girl got a remote job making $145,000 fresh out of college.
Wow.
See, that's why they don't want us discussing our incomes with one another when you own the plantation. Because then you will find out that all this money you think you making, you not making. Because, I know sisters with their degrees who ain't making but 70,000 or less. And a lot of times they'll get a degree and still don't change their job. So it's like, why did you get that degree and take the time away from your raising your kids and everything else if you're not going to change your job?
Let me explain that, Brother Mark.
Okay.
That's going to take us down slightly another road, but here's the thing about our women. White women go to college to find a husband. Black women go to college not to have one. So there's a different mindset.
Yeah. And it just blew me away. And what successfully happened here in this country is we had the majority of our success when education was self-taught. We had the majority of our success when we weren't taught how to think. When our preachers weren't taught how to preach. When we weren't taught how to move and do everything. So it's very important that we sort of reestablish our independence and begin to reteach our young people and get them to be more forward thinkers and work to get, how do I say, not be reactive, but to be proactive. And that, once again, that means coming out of your circumference of awareness. Because I remember the first time I stepped outside my circumference of awareness was when I was at FAMU. I didn't want to go to this assembly that they had, but my English teacher was like, "You won't get a grade. You got to go." So me and a friend, we went reluctantly, and guess who was there? Dr. Francis Cress Welsing.
Wow.
And oh my God, we were looking at each other. Yes. And it explains so much about the little bit of life that I had experienced up until that point. And that made me begin to look deeper into things. And I'll never forget when I was really young, my grandfather, he told me, he say, when you listen to anybody, be it the preacher or anything, he said, I'm going to use a preacher for example. They'll grab one verse and then they'll talk on it for 90 minutes or 10 minutes or however long. He said, but always put things in context. So you go back and read that whole chapter to put that verse in context before you run with it. And so even as a little young fella, I put things in context. And that's what we got to begin to do with, we got to start unpacking some of this stuff, because we've been carrying a load that we don't need to carry.
Awesome. Awesome, fellas. Well, look here, fellas. Y'all been dropping some hot fire tonight. I think we're going to start winding this thing down. And man, like I say, this has been another episode, another great episode of Urban Matters Black Media Group, Urban Matters Matter live chat. I just want to thank you, gentlemen, for sharing and giving your input and giving your feedback. And our comment section didn't really pop open tonight. I guess everybody's tired from the work week, I guess. And we're going to tune them in. Hey, I really enjoyed this, man. We got to get us a regular schedule, man, because you guys are really bringing some knowledge to this platform. And I'm glad we're getting it all recorded and getting that digital footprint and etched in the halls of fame when it comes to Black empowerment. We had an excellent discussion about Black economics tonight. We had an excellent discussion about group economics. And y'all know I'm all about self-sustainability, right, when it comes to our community. And Brother Mark, I know we talk about this all the time. And as you were saying, we need to definitely invest in these younger kids, getting more skills when it comes to vocational training and electronics and electricity and plumbing and HVAC. You know, we try to do it all, construction.
Yes.
And I'm gonna talk to you about some construction stuff I got going on, man. You want to make you a couple of extra $1,000, man? I'm going around these local counties around here, man. They're giving out bags, man. It's just money. They got to do something with the money, man. It's a lot of people don't know about it, and different programs they have as far as like weatherization and different climate programs got to do with their whole climate control thing. But I'll fill you in on it. And Professor, again, man, where would we be, man, without a professor of your caliber, always bringing the hot facts, always bringing that knowledge. We appreciate that. Man, I'm telling you, Mark, listen, people think I just be making this stuff up. I'm trying to, they think I'm being a carpetbagger or whatever, or a sack puller or whatever. But this guy really encourages me, man, every single day. This guy check on me, man. And he's always having a plethora of knowledge. And I just enjoy his depth of knowledge and education as far as a Black elder. And one of the gentlemen that came on OZ on Ohio Street came on the other day. He was like, man, I'm just impressed, man. A guy your age, man, speaking how you speaking with so much, liveliness and so much youth. And it's like he has a connect. Zed literally told him he had a connection with the youth. You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate this guy, man. And I mean, like I say, man, me and this guy linked up about 3 years ago, ain't it, man?
Well, let me tell you what I understand about life.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that, every day I'm getting older and older and older. And what the people in my generation don't understand is that, number one, we've made these white folks rich. I've made white folks a lot of money because I've done a lot of stuff. I've taught college. I've been back.
Mm-hmm.
I was one of the largest corporations in the world. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
APMG. I'm proud of that. But at the end of the day, if I'm standing on the shoulders of so many elders, what have I given back to my community? And I'm trying to encourage people my age. That's what I talked about. You have all these people in your community. When Brother Mark was talking about, we have to go back to the basics of where we come from. We have all of this capital. I call it capital. We have all of this natural resource, if you will,
mm-hmm.
in our community. We have all this knowledge in our community that's sitting idle. We have these idle buildings. We got idle people. What are we doing with it? So just know that I'm very passionate about giving back. You know, I come from the same community that y'all come from, and there's so many ways that one can contribute to the community. It ain't always got to be dollars. I know we all strapped, but we have so many other resources that that we can contribute to the cause. And like I said, as I get older, and as they say, bell mouth and ball, I would like to think that the youth that I've invested in will bring me a glass of water when I need it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. And we appreciate that, Professor. And like I said, Brother Mark, we appreciate you for joining us today. And
Yes.
man, y'all want to pick this conversation back up tomorrow, I'm
Yeah.
more than happy. Then we can get it in early, man. And, you know I thought we was going to catch the late night crowd, but hey, listen, if y'all get some people lined up, listen, I'm here, man. I want to put this round table together every single day. And that's one of the great things about being an entrepreneur and a business owner. You get to make your own schedule,
That's
So,
right.
yeah, man. I
Well,
love it, man.
I think it's important that we do that, Dr. Juice, because again, name me any other educational platform that's in your community. Let's just kind of put it in Polk County. Name me another platform that's outside of the establishment that's Black first, that's really catering to giving the community education that's uncut and unfiltered. Where are they doing that?
Nowhere. Everybody's on some walk on eggshells, politically correct,
Right.
politically incorrect, politically ignorant, politically unaware, politically. I can go on all day, man. I can go on.
Well, it burns
Because
it burns me up. It burns me up when I hear a Black person say, Jesus Christ died on the cross for our sins, and they could, without also recognizing that your ancestors got raped, they got hung, they got terrorized, so that you would have the opportunity to do exactly what we're doing now, educate.
yes,
That should mean something. That really should mean
babies cut from pregnant women's stomachs and
Babies
just
cut,
drop them
but-
on the ground.
Crush
They
their
would sit there
skulls. Yeah.
and tell you about how Jesus died on the cross. It makes me sick.
That's real.
Right.
real.
And the sad thing is, don't even know and don't care to know our
That's
most recent history
That's scary, right?
and the pain that our people have been through. Man, I wish y'all could see my arms. I got chills right now just thinking about it.
Boy, that's scary, boy. Them willfully ignorant people, boy, I stay away from them. Them jokers is scary, boy. Listen, how can you be willfully ignorant? That's that cognitive dissonance, man. That
Yes.
Stockholm syndrome type stuff, man. I just
Yes.
boy, it's cringy. It makes you get cringe.
And
So I pray that my ancestors are smiling. Should I meet them in hereafter life, because we don't know what that's going to be about. But I definitely want to stand before any of my ancestors and be proud to say that I put work in, and your blood, sweat, and tears were not in vain for me.
Absolutely.
yes. I want to say one thing before we sign off. I work with an organization, and I'm going to try to be vague so I don't put my finger on them. But we had a program that we did for the community, right? And we would go and feed the community, provide food for them, and they got upset with me because during the meeting I was asking, are we going to require something? Are we going to stop just giving handouts and start? Because we were stepping over garbage and everything else in yards in order to give people food. And that touched me, because I'm saying, well, how are we helping these people by doing this? And then you had some people that would come up and they get 4 or 5 bundles of diapers and all that, or 6 or 7, and they just hogging up food. I say, how is that helping anybody? Helping the people that we truly want to help. So I'm bringing this up to say this. I told them, and this is something that I say here, is we have to start doing things for the community and actively that activates the community to do positive things for the community. So like in that situation, I said, well, how about a bag for a bag? Bag of food for a bag of garbage out of your yard. You clean your yard and we give you blah, blah, blah. You know, just different little thoughts. Because I wanted people to be a part of their empowerment. I wanted people to be a part of their coming up and not just sit up there with their hands out.
Right, interacting.
And yes, interacting your own come up. So that's something that I would like for us to start doing right here in Polk County and Lake Wales to start, because you know, and start making it happen. And a lot of the ghost watchers, they have to be ghost watchers because they go in on that plantation every day and they can't be associated with such rebels like you guys. You guys are rebels. So
exactly, I understand, bro. Trust me, I totally understand. I mean, they don't want to make their white boss man mad. They don't want to make that white girl that they dating mad at them. They don't want her to fall out with them. And I get it, man. I get it. And like I say, but you can still, like, hey, you see this little donate sign in the corner right here? We're going to start implementing that. And you can do your private donations, and then we'll just keep that between us, you know. But one thing we do, we're totally transparent with this platform, and we will let you know what's in our basket, and we'll run it just like a corporation, and we'll let you know what we're funding and everything. But we do need donations. We do need love offerings to keep this platform going, because we put a lot of hard work into this, and we need your help and we need your commitment as well. So I'm gonna just leave it right there, and we're gonna, Professor Ben, we got something coming up in the mix, Brother Mark. Get that material together so we can start doing certain little advertisements in here, and we're gonna start showing people how we're reaching out to the community and we're here for the community, and that we are community-based and we are a grassroots organization that is truly concerned about the well-being of our community, our local communities. And like we got a professional educator in the building, y'all. This guy here is a professional educator. He's taught on the graduate level. And hey, let's do it, man. I'm ready, man. I'm hyped.
Yeah.
I had a little layoff, but we back in business, man. Hey, salute to you fellas, man. Salute y'all guys, man, because y'all putting in work, man. The ancestors are very, very proud, man. Very, very proud, man. And I thank y'all.
Hey, Breezy, cut that shit out.
Peace.
I'm out.
We out. Have a great weekend, family.
You too, brother.